Yo, I just wanted to make a video about how I got my people. And I know there's a lot of maybe small businesses that are struggling with trying to find the right people, the laborers for your company. And it's not easy. And I just want to let you know that I struggled with that in the beginning. Believe me, I have a service company, a landscape company, and you do need a lot of labor to make sure that the projects get done for customers. And also, to scale the company, you need people. And so finding those people were really hard sometimes, and just trying to figure out what the next steps were to get those people. I didn't know what to do. This was definitely a God thing, and I want to tell you this whole story from start to finish of how he blessed me with the people I have today. Now, most of that time, about 3 years ago, I was really busy trying to find great mentors, because I know and I knew that people that were doing bigger things than me could help me and teach me some lessons and experiences that they went through, so I don't have to go through. So the mentor I'm referring to had about a $20 to $25 million landscape company. I met him on LinkedIn actually, and I was trying to plan on sitting down and actually having conversation to pick his brain and to learn. And so at that time, it's like during the winter, and we went to the yacht club where they have a membership there, and we had a meeting also with his son. And he was probably in his mid-20s, so very similar in my age when I met him. And he also owned a landscape company as well, so he was trying to follow his father's footsteps. That meeting turned out very successful and created a really great relationship with my mentor, his son, and I. Now, I would meet with people like this because I had the time to do so. It was during the winter, so I had more time to meet with people that I really wanted to get to know and have a relationship with in business. And I was really struggling trying to find full-time people because next year was going to present a lot of work that I needed full-time guys. Now, going back to the beginning of the story, I was a one-man shop, one-man operation, and I needed help for the next season. So a lot of that time during the meeting, I was asking, how did you get your people? How did you accumulate the right team members? And so that was my biggest struggle, because I knew that this upcoming year was going to be a struggle if I didn't have full-time people, because back then I had part-time guys but weren't reliable because of their schedules. And believe me, I've been praying, and I was praying for finding the right people and the right team and full-time guys that could help me build this thing, because it was going to be almost impossible if I had just myself and only part-time guys to figure out, because at that time I was still finishing up high school and about to graduate, and I had no time to waste. I prayed and I prayed and I prayed again all the time throughout the winter. And to be honest, I was living in fear because I didn't know if I was going to get the people or not, but I just kept praying, trusting the Lord that these people are going to come. I don't know who it's going to be, but they're going to come. And so fast forward 2 weeks later, after that meeting on a Sunday morning, I get a call out of nowhere, and guess who it is? It's my mentor wanting to call me on a Sunday morning. So I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And so I answer it, and dude, this guy was straight bawling on the phone, crying his eyes out. It was insane. I've never heard another man cry this much. And I was like, what the heck is going on? On a Sunday morning, why is he calling me? I was just going through ideas in my head. I'm like, why would this guy be calling me on a Sunday morning? What does he have to do with me? Because this guy has a lot of other important things to do other than talk with me, this bozo. But I just listened, and the first sentence that came out was, his son passed away from a seizure. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And so there was 1,000 more ideas of what the crap is going on. And why is he talking with me? Shouldn't he be talking with his family and friends? The second sentence that came out of his mouth on the phone was I don't know what to do with his business. And he's the one who called me for that reason, thinking I might be interested. And I would say the business was a little bit bigger than us, back then. And I was just sure, I would be interested, in just trying to really listen to what he was trying to say for the most part, because I was in awe just by the fact that his son died at that age, and I literally just met him 2 weeks ago. The other detail I did not want to leave out, what he said on the phone, was because he's a believer in the Lord, and he said that God was telling me to give you a call to see if you're interested because you're just like my son. He's like, I wouldn't want to give it to anyone else but you because you had the same drive as he did. And dude, let's just say after when he said that, I had the chills. So then we figured out a deal. If this was going to work out for us and make sense for our business to acquire, to kind of help run the operations during the meantime before the season starts. So this process was about 3 or 4 weeks, and I'd say it's getting closer to about mulch time now. So we did a couple mulch projects for some HOAs, and we were just getting used to their team members and their employees. They had about 7, and we were just like really connecting nicely, thinking that this acquisition was gonna work. But then buying the business actually did not happen. The business turned out not what we expected, related to the numbers and the equipment just wasn't our fit. And now about this time, it's about late February, early March, and we're mulching, and I'm kind of in fear. I'm not gonna lie. I was definitely freaking out a little bit, and I was praying, believing and trusting God that he was gonna provide the right people for our business. But the craziest thing happened. Literally 6 out of the 7 people that were there, so 1 stayed at the current company that we were looking at buying but didn't work out. 6 of them came to work with us for that season. Now, I did not ask them to come. I did not beg them to come at all. I didn't even mention it for them to come. They just stayed with us. Bro, I could not believe it. I was so shocked because I said nothing, mentioned nothing about working with us. And now we're coming up to year 3 with the OG Amigos. And so what I'm telling you is God works in a freaking amazing ways. Ways that you are never going to understand and explain, but you'll look back after you see it and you're like, holy crap. That whole time was a setup for the miracle. And sometimes in life, I've realized that the Lord works at the last minute. And he does that on purpose because he does not want you to be self-sufficient, thinking that you can do it all. He wants you to trust in him that he's gonna do it all. Believe me, when you're looking for a team and people, it's not easy. I was busting my butt that whole year before that happened, trying to find the right people. That whole year, I was trying to find the right people because I couldn't do it alone. And that was the day when everything changed. And yet again, my God, he always provides at the right and perfect time. I will never, ever forget that day because that was the catalyst that took JIT to the next level for that year and for the years to come.